What's up guys, Arisu here. Today I bring you the Make It Click for DSR Phase 6, Nidhogg and Kreisvelger. I'm gonna be using the NAPS strats, the NAUR strats, and basically how I view the mechanic and how I solve the mechanic. And well, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you like the video, like it. If you dislike it, and vámonos. So before we start real quick, I'm gonna let you know how I'm gonna be dividing this this whole segment, because it's mostly a choke check and it's basically a tank mechanic, but also, you know, there's responsibility from DPS and, you know, ranged, but mostly I will be segmenting it as I see fit. So for now, I'm gonna be doing this part right here. So at the very start of the phase, we start on phase 6. Make sure you let Thornton live. I'm the main tank will take Nidhogg. I'm the off tank. I take Kreisvelger. So this is all footage, by the way, because I'm gonna specifically talk about some tank buster right here at the beginning. So right here, before anything happens, as soon as he did the first auto attack, you can already pop your 30%. The 2 minute the 2 minute one, because right here I have it a little bit delayed, but doesn't matter. So great wound spread. The whole entire party, DPS and healers. DPS and healers are gonna do a triangle formation. I'm gonna show it once I do the DPS. But for tanks, you have to check two things. First, if your dragon head is glowing. That's the first thing. If it's not glowing, you don't have to check the second thing. You would immediately, if it's not glowing, you would immediately go towards this part of the marker. Like the inner cardinal that the northern cardinal where your dragon is, and it's on the inside. Do not be on the outside. It has to be right here. Really close to it. Because you're gonna take a time buster. If it was glowing, you're gonna check the second thing. You're gonna look behind you. If you have a different camera, you can also like be already looking at both of them. But for me, at least, it's like I'm looking at Kreisvelger, and then I'm gonna look behind. If Nidhogg has the head glowing, I'm gonna be staying in middle, because both head glowings means that we're gonna get a tank buster that is shared. So with that out of the way, right here, real quick, I see that it's not glowing. As soon as the head is already down, he's already in position, it should already be glowing by this point. It's not glowing, therefore I am the one. If anything, I just confirmed right there that I turned the camera, I looked at it's glowing on the other side, but mine isn't. I go here to the inner cardinal, I get really close to it, boom. That's a big reward. It's a big deformation, and it's a big deformation circle. And like, you're pretty much just getting here so like you don't get hit or anything, you know? Then after this, as a tank, you're done by the first part right here. So right here, the DPS are gonna get a rot, and we're gonna keep moving. I'm gonna pause it right here on Akafa. Akafa is a hand of pain. Make sure they're between 3% of each other, meaning that if Nidhogg is at 74, at most Kreisvelger needs to be at 76. With the DPS check now being lenient, they are actually lower now, so just be careful with it. So right here, one of the tanks is gonna reprisal. Make sure you're in the middle so you reprisal both of them. And before I actually go to the next mechanic, which is Hallowed Wing, also a small note before Hallowed Wing is that you're gonna be pressing your rampart as Akafa is casting. You can do it at the end if you want to, it doesn't matter. As long as the caster is right there, you throw your rampart. Back in Endwalker, I used to do it a little bit later. Like right here, I literally just pressed it. So I'm gonna show you what would happen if we have to share it, just to show it, and a little bit of a better timings. Right here, we're gonna be doing opener. I get hit. You saw how I got hit by the first auto attack, and I pressed my 30%. That is one of the best timings to do it, because you don't have to think about it. Right here, right now. So right here, I'm gonna be looking at the head. It's glowing. I turn around. I see the other one is glowing. I stay in the middle. And I just stay in the middle, because we both have to share because of this debuff right here. So we get sustained light damage, but also since we're getting hit by Nidhogg, we're getting sustained dark damage. So it pretty much cancels out. It's a really instant. Like, you don't have to like think too much about it. It's just like it auto solves by itself. And then after this, we do the same thing as the other one, where supports, you know, healers and tanks are in the middle, because the DPS have their own responsibility of the rot. And the same thing happens where, like, you know, Akafa is doing it. And right here, you're gonna see that before the cast bar ends, I press my rampart. Right here. So those are the better timings for me to actually press my mid. And if you can actually see, there are 90 seconds each. So they're gonna come back up for when we need it in Word Spread 2. So now let me show you how it looks Word Spread 1 as a DPS. So basically, as a DPS, you're gonna be doing your entire opener on the dragon that is your live party. So if I'm live party 1, I'll be attacking the dragon on the left side, which is Nidhogg. Nidhogg's always on the west side, left side, and whoever's Frey, the other one. So right here, since I'm a Dragoon, I'm gonna be like double dotting them as best as I can and doing my opener. So also right here, as a DPS, one of the DPS, or at least one of the pair of each, because we're gonna be on a formation. I'm gonna show it right here on the minimap. We're gonna be standing in a type of triangle thing because we're gonna get targeted by tethers, and one of those pairs, sorry, one person in the pair, one of us has to adjust in case we both have the same same tether. There's gonna be tethers of ice and fire. So right here, in my specific case, we already have different one. I have a fire, they have an ice. We don't move. We just literally go towards this part of the marker, right in the middle of the marker, and it's gonna literally it's gonna auto solve it right here for us. Right here we go. Like, you can be a little bit out, nothing happens because we're fine right here. But like, I'm gonna show you the range POV too, so you have a better understanding of what I'm trying to do. But like, that's pretty much it. So right here, after we get hit, we have a small we have a few seconds, so we can actually be spread. If you can see that one of the DPS is here, the other DPS is here, I'm here, and I'm pretty sure the other... Where's the other DPS? I lost them, but I think they're over there. But like, we're spread. We're away from the people in the middle, the supports. So right here, I get hit by a Rot. If someone else gets hit by a Rot, they get Superation, and basically they get one-shot by any mechanic, and we don't want that. We don't want that at all. So this is an AoE. Oh, they're right there. So basically, like, you just want to be spread, and that's it. This Rot will never be in hands of a healer, because it, like... So the Mortal Bow, basically, you have to be passing it through people. It's always determined, which is XTTMR. So X meaning, you know, any of the DPS is gonna get it. And then it's gonna be to the tank, main tank, and then to the off tank, and then to the melee. In my case, since if I remember correctly, I was the DPS that is not adjusting. So like, I would, if I'm not adjusting, I would get the Rot. But since I got the first Rot, this means that I'm no longer able to be that M of the XTTMR. After a Hallowed Wing, after Hallowed Wing 2, I'm not gonna be able to go to the middle. I'm gonna show this later, but this pass is gonna be done after Hallowed Wing 1, but we're gonna see it in a little bit. Pretty much, it's just like, make sure you don't hit anybody with this one. You're spread. That's it. That's Wind Spread 1. And then after here is just the same thing, which is Akafa. Your job as a DPS is making sure they're both, you know, at the same HP. Make sure that your burst is already done, so you don't actually do it. This is where discipline comes through, where it's like you have to be tap targeting. If you're not tap targeting to make sure they're both at the range of the HP, you're basically like, I'm not sure how to put it like quite lightly, but like, you need to be a team player and like make sure that you actually are cooperating. Anyway, so after this, I'm gonna show you the range POV. So basically, as a range right now, I'm gonna be doing my whole opener on the dragon that is my live party, and then I'm gonna be adjusting wherever I can. As a range, you have more flexibility of hitting any of the two dragons because you're a range, you can hit them. Melees have a little bit more of they have less leeway to actually be adjusting and balancing the HPs. So for now, I'm gonna be going to pre-position right here. So for ranged, melee already have a preset pattern where they're gonna be standing, you know, right here on the edge of the marker. For us, range, if we find this same, like, you know, square, right, where the square and the circle meet, we can be right here, literally right here. And the same goes for our other ranged counterparts right here. on the other live party, they can be standing on the same place where, you know, the squares and the line meets. So it would be the square and the line meets. So over there, you know, they would be standing there, and they would be one of them. Of course, they would be doing the adjust. In my case, I'm the adjuster, but in this case, specific case, I have the same color. I have different colors. We have opposite colors, so I don't have to adjust. So right here, actually, one of the melees had to adjust. They one of the melees had ice, and the other melee, this the Reaper, had ice. This one, so one of them has to adjust. That means that the vice versa, the counter is also true, where like one of the range had double fire, so they had to adjust. So like 3 people are not gonna move. They're the planters, right? Usually it's the healers and 1 melee. So if like usually it should be one of the pairs has to adjust, and sorry, one of the pairs has to like literally not move. They're already like solved. It's only like one pair that has to move, and it will always be the case. If one has to adjust, it's only one pair in between them. It's never like a 3-way and type say like, let's not overcomplicate the mechanic. But that's pretty much it. That's Ruins Red 1. And since I'm the DPS, I just have to stay away, you know? Right here, I'm staying away, just in case I get hit by the rod. I'm targeting to see it, I get the rod. I'm lucky, but at the same time, basically, as a fist range, you're never supposed to take any rods, you know, unless it's this first one, because it's a random one that goes on a DPS. So the XCTMR, the R is never for fist range, it's always for the caster. In case you see it, because nowadays you kill Nidhogg so quick that it basically disappears, but don't worry about it, like the last one is for the caster. And then right here, again, Akafa, make sure you're tap targeting. Make sure that you're actually, you know, tap targeting, throwing GCDs, and keeping them balanced. So now let's go to the next mechanic, Hallowed Wing. Just to make a small recap, right here on Akafa, make sure the tank, main tank is usually tank 1, is going to be standing right here in the middle, making sure that they do reprisal so it actually hits Cray and Nidhogg, because, you know, AoE, reprisal is AoE. And, well, you know, when Akafa is casting, if you want to do it, you know, at this point of the cast bar, you can press your rampart so it can align better with your 2-minute one, the 30% one. So right here, I'm pressing it right now. And now this next mechanics, Hallowed Wing, is mostly a tank mechanic. Everyone else from the party just has to go opposite of the tanks. So I'm just gonna show from the tank POV so you understand what steps you must take as a tank. There's one more thing that I have to like clarify, is that one of the tanks is gonna be the middle tank and another is gonna be the wall tank. Wall means that they're gonna prioritize going towards the outside of the arena, and the middle means, you know, towards the middle of the arena, yeah, but like, you know, specifically like this line right here, let's call this line right here in the middle, like obviously like more towards this part right here. But, and well, I'm gonna be showing it more in Hallowed Wing 2, why I mean like this line, but at the same time it's like there are certain parts in Hallowed Wing 2 that you cannot go like specific spots right here, for example. But for now, let's focus on Hallowed Wing 1. So basically this mechanic, the first thing that I do is I look at north, because Nidhogg has a chance of spawning either north or south on this specific parts, because he's gonna do cauterize and he's gonna cleave a whole half of the arena, the full half of the arena. It's a full half. In this case, if Nidhogg appears right on top of Frey, because Frey is not gonna move on Hallowed Wing 1, but Nidhogg is gonna move, right? So if Nidhogg is right on top of Frey's Velgar, this is downtime. Like, you're not getting UCDs, you must respect this mechanic. That's the first thing that you have to, you know, look for. In the next split second, when Frey's Velgar is casting Hallowed Wings, you're gonna be looking at 2 things. First and foremost, the wing that is glowing, you're gonna go opposite of it, and also the head. In this case, the head, like, I don't see it down here, you know, it's actually up here. He elevated his head. That means the tank needs to go away. They need to go far from Frey's Velgar, because the tank buster are 2 big deformations that go on the either farthest or the nearest, depending on where the head is. If Frey's Velgar's head was down here, it's the 2 closest people that are, you know, the two closest to Hraesvelgr. Now, with that, we already covered most of the bases of, like, you know, Nidhogg is covering one half and Hraesvelgr the other half. Which this basically means is that the whole arena in this square performance, let's say here, so it's going to be divided into quadrants. It's always going to be in a quadrant. So Prey is always here, and then Nidhogg has a chance of like spawning anywhere there. In our case, he's going to spawn right here. This is Nid. So it didn't spawn here, didn't spawn here, didn't spawn here. If you want to make a visual representation, it's like, oh, it's going to cleave this side. And now Hray's going to cleave one of the other, you know, the other half, either north or south. In this case, he's cleaving north. So you can already see exactly like a square that you're going to. You're going to basically do this for Hallowed Wing 1. Now, since it's tanks far, one tank is going to be here. This is west side, you know, west. I'm just going to put it right there. It's actually, let me take it out. So right here, one of the tank is going to go here and the other tank is going to go here. So we have two tanks right there. And the part is going to be here, closer, because the tanks are going to be farther away. Let me see if I can get another color. So right here, yep, tanks right there. And the party is right here. Now, what would happen if it's actually, you know, the other face, right? What if Hraesvelgr's head is actually lower? Well, that only means that one tank is right here, the other tank is right here, and the party is all the way in the back. And this pretty much solves anywhere, pretty much anywhere. So I'm gonna redo the square real quick, right here. So another example is just like, look, Hray's right here, and Hray's cleaving the same side, you know, right here. This is north. It's cleaving this side, but like, oh, Nidhogg is now over here. So that means Nidhogg is gonna cleave this side. And you do the same thing. Okay, the head is up. Okay, one tank away from Cray, the other tank over here. You can be max melee, it doesn't matter, because the party can be like inside the hitbox and like really close to Cray. They're not gonna get hit. Basically, they would be like placing around like right here in the back of the arena, you know, in the footage. Like exactly right there. They can be like pretty much in this part right here. No problem there. But what would be like, oh, okay, so in this specific case, you know, where, you know, this specific square right here, this quadrant, what if this was safe? So, and the tanks is close. One tank can go right here. This is where one tank can go, and the other tank can be right here on the edge of the hitbox. And they are far away that they don't Venn diagram each other. Like, they can be really close to, you know, Cray, and, you know, get used to it. The party can just be like max melee over here. It doesn't really like, they can get like full optim here. And that's pretty much it. So I'm just gonna let it play out in this case. Now we're gonna continue with the example. Is that, okay, I'm throwing my mids. This is the perfect time to throw your mids, TVN. In my case, it's Oblation and Darkmind because you're on a 1 minute cooldown. Camo, for example, I could not use it here because I wanted to save it for Hallowed Wing 2. So the only thing that I would need to throw here if I was Gunbreaker is delay my Heart of Corundum as best as I can. So the 4 extra seconds of the 50% mid, the extra mid, is actually applied for Hallowed Wings, and you're actually healthy for the auto attacks after. So right here, since I'm a Darknet, I just press, you know, Darkman Oblation, TVN, we respect that. You see how the part is up here. Tank near the wall, and I'm near the middle. Boom, that's it. And this is, you know, the party just basically does the opposite, and they're done. I pretty much just explain like where you need to go in case you have to do it, but that's basically it. You just have to see it. Now it's gonna happen like a lot, like most of the time someone's gonna be like mispositioned. It is what it is. Like, this is like a study check and like make sure your tank knows what they're doing. Real quick, let me show you one example of Hallowed Wing 1 again. So right here, as I said, I like looking at north. I see Nidhogg spawned away from Hraesvelgr. That means we're getting, you know, we're getting off time, and the head of Hraesvelgr is down, and the wing over there is glowing. So I already know, not here, not here. So basically, this quadrant, this is our place to go. And now, since it's tanks close, we're gonna be showing you right here. Tanks are gonna go. For us, the party, we can just be max melee. One of the tanks can be, if you see this spot right here, they're literally getting close to it. Not on top of it, because you can get clipped. They're just like right next to it. And the other tank is going to be right here inside the hitbox. You're actually, you know, over here. You can be like inside here, you know. Make sure you're actually touching the hitbox. Make sure you're inside. And make sure as a party, if you're a DPS or a healer, make sure you're max melee at least. Because, I mean, if you're a healer or a range, you can just literally like be standing over there, you know, in the back. It doesn't matter. So right here, you just let assault and boom. Since I'm the Rot, I go middle. Everyone else just stays in their place. And that's pretty much another example of how it would look on Hallowed Wing 1. So right here, after Hallowed Wing 1, this is the first Wroth pass. And you can know because of the DPS, the debuff is running out of time. So everyone is away from the middle, and it's just the DPS that has it and the main tank, or tank 1. It's right here, tank 1 and the DPS. They're right there. So they pass it, and we're gonna keep doing damage to Kreisvelger because Kreisvelger is gonna jump to to the wall, either north or south, and we're gonna be looking at Krei right here real quick. I'm gonna look, in this case, this is just like me having a preference to look at south. It's the same thing if I would look at north because I need to find Krei. Krei is actually at north. Now, Kreisvelger, he is gonna spawn in any of these 3 spots on north or south, and he's gonna cleave 1/3 of the arena. It's not half as Nidhogg in this case. This is for Wroth Flames if I didn't mention it, but like this is where he's gonna spawn. And basically, if Kreisvelger appears in the middle or away, this is uptime. If Kreisvelger appears on this one closer, like right on top of where Nidhogg is, it's downtime and you have to respect it. Now, as a tank right here, if you're the off tank, you have to like use Reprisal right here and delay it as best as possible. So, right here, you're probably wondering, like, that was a quick sudden movement in the camera, so I'm just gonna show it right here. We're gonna look like this one's always spawns in the middle, but we're gonna look for where the second one spawns. This one can spawn on any of the inner cardinals. Any of the inner cardinals. The only thing that you have to do is like you find which inner cardinal it is and you go to the opposite side. You will literally go to the opposite side. Oh my god, I don't know how to make arrows. So if it would spawn over here or over here, we go to the other half of the arena. If it spawns right here or, you know, down here, we go up to the other half where we are actually going. There's a chance, well, like it's gonna happen right now. It spawns on top of us, but this is a 3-to-1 dodge, so you don't have to like, you know, have too much of trouble here. You just literally press your sprint and you ride the wave. There may be a chance that you're gonna get scared about of the what if the second one spawns here is gonna cleave us. Like, it's not gonna cleave you if you actually go with the right tempo. And I'm gonna show the right tempo right here, right now. Press sprint. I didn't mention it yet, but I'm gonna mention it after this because I mean, right now we have, you know, AM. We'll use AM, and it basically auto resolves like the debuffs and non-debuffs people. So right here, I'm gonna pop my sprint. You get hit once, you go to the edge. You literally go to the edge of the first Akmorn and you wait a little. You see the Wroth Flame go off, and it's almost at the same time as you get hit by the second Akmorn, so you start running. And you have to curve it a little bit. We're literally doing this shape. We're curving it. We're curving it. So we're curving it, and then by the last Akmorn, because it's also a party stack, so make sure you actually get there in time. If it's downtime and you're late to the Akmorn and it goes to you and it kills you by yourself, that's your responsibility of actually not doing that. Anyway, so right here she's gonna Nidhogg, if you haven't targeted or, you know, focus targeted, he's gonna do Hot Tail. And pretty much he's gonna do Hot Tail or Hot Wing. So in our case is Hot Tail. That means we have to get away from the middle of the arena. So since we came from, you know, this side is, for us, is not safe. So we're just going to continue walking towards, you know, literally towards the front where we're going. In this case, we went from north all the way to south because we don't want to be in the middle, right? If, you know, if we started, you know, probably like over here, you know, on southeast, we're gonna keep walking, and then if it's hot tail, we would keep going and spread around, you know, north side. Like this is safe, right, for us. It could be hot wing, and this is where it gets complicated for some people, because it's hot wing is the size of 4 squares. It's really tight. It's actually the opposite of hot tail. We're gonna show it in a little bit. So right now, all you have to know is that if it's hot tail, get out from the middle of the arena, keep walking, as we're doing right now. I have chains, so chain always goes to the wall. And if you have ignore, you go with your partner and you go closer to Ray. If you have a number 1, 2, 3, 4, the yellow one, you basically just spread. Make sure you don't hit anybody. So right here, we actually have someone right here. Don't worry about it. Like, they know what they're doing. But like, basically, they're not on top of us. As long as they're not on top of us, as I said, it's a spread. Like, they're fine. It's because when it's hot tail, you actually have, you know, you have room to, you know, spread around people. Because what we're doing right here, it's an AoE. This is an AoE. Everything is an AoE here. So right here, it gets solved, this AoE. And now as I am the tank, I have to gap close if I'm far away to the middle of the arena for the Rot. There is a chance that the tank and, you know, that both tanks, they have the chain. If they have the chain and they're jumping, they're literally jumping in the spot right here near the wall. If they're jumping, they're telling you, stand still, we're gonna solve the Rot right here. That's literally the only one spot that you actually don't have to move. You don't have to save a gap closer for this. But in my case, since they had a spread and I had chain, I had to like save one gap closer, go to the middle, and, you know, get the Rot. After this Rot, it's always like that, you know, after Hallowed Wing 1, you get a Rot. After Wroth Flames, you get the other Rot. So before I forget, there's actually a specific footage that I forgot to show. So what if in Wroth Flames, we actually have Kreisvelger on top of Nidhogg, which basically means you're in downtime. Right there, Nidhogg was, you know, right on top of Nidhogg, so he's gonna cleave this part, right? And then right here, I started going back, because I'm a range, I can already like start going away. And then I see the second spot right there, since, you know, they spawned on the south quadrant. That means we're going to the north side. So now, right here, we're gonna go towards the edge, basically at the same distance of where the market is, and make sure that we're at the same time. Right here, the tank is a little bit slow, but, you know, they managed to get there in time. So right here, we get hit, and we're doing the same movement. The only change in downtime is that you cannot hit the boss. And as a tank, you have to make sure that you actually mid it, you know, with Reprisal, and feint, you know, as best as you can with the range that you have. And well, this is fist range, and if I had you know, the wrench for Machinist, I would have thrown wrench right here because it's a good place to use it. And then right here, you just, you know, solve it normally. Hot tail, okay, it's out. I have a, you know, I have the the cancel marker, you know, and me, so we're together right here. Tanks, same thing. If the tanks were together as chains, they would be jumping, saying that they're together. But in this case, they're gonna gap goes in, mid middle, solve it, and then that's about it. I know someone died, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, you can still recover. But mostly that's a downtime movement. It's basically the same. You just have to get away from Nidhogg, and you have to be quick about it. If you're late, it's pretty much a guaranteed wipe, because that's a lot of damage that you need to share between 8 people. Right here, we're just gonna have the second Akafa, and you're gonna be top targeting again, but because we know we had a downtime on Kreisvelger, and we had a full uptime on Nidhogg, more than any of the cases, Kreisvelger is gonna be lower HP. So again, same thing, Akafa, make sure they're between in between 3%. And we're gonna have the next Hallowed Wing. And let me pause here real quick. So for Akafa 2, it's the same thing that you did before, you know, 3%, you know, respect the mechanic, respect tap targeting, make sure you're on top of your live party, make sure you're not you know, misplaced. So now this Hallowed Wing works almost the same way. But this time you're gonna want to think of this mechanic as if like you're gonna solve this in one half of the arena. You basically have a whole half, or basically like barely spots because it could be in, you know. Actually, I think it was 6. I think I mentioned like 4 square was, it might be a little bit longer. Anyway, so right here, head up and cleaving this side. So basically the north side of the arena is safe. But which part? Because like before, Nidhogg flew away and decided to like, hey, like I'm gonna cleave one of these things. So in this case, Nidhogg is gonna either do Hot Wing or Hot Tail. Hot Tail is actually easier because you just get out and that's it. And then right here, the only thing that they have to do, oh, they cursed my footage. So let me pause it right here. If it's out, it's gonna cleave this part, and since we already know it's the north side, so basically we just like edge it right here. One tank near Nidhogg, the other tank could just be max melee, and the whole party is gonna go towards Frey because, you know, it's tanks far, party close to Frey. And you see, you know, that one, it's barely visible, thank God. So right here, the only mid that I use was Darkmine, Oblation, and TBN. That's it. Now, these mids are the actual, like, big thing. But before I actually go to Wyrm's Red 2, let me just make sure that, like, you see that, okay, this last pass, no one's in the middle. After Hallowed Wing 2, no one's in the middle. I passed the rod. That's it. This is technically the last one because I usually die here. So, let me pause it right here and get another footage for when it's in, hopefully. So, I actually managed to get a footage from Hallowed Wing 2. This is Hallowed Wing 2, and we're gonna have a different thing. I'm on DPS right now, so we're gonna do this. So first and foremost, Hallowed Wing, the head, and which side is cleaving. And basically, what I like to do is pre-move, you know, because I know it's gonna be party close, so I pre-move towards Frey. And now, as I'm going in, Nidhogg is gonna start casting Hot Wing or Hot Tail. So this is where you can actually see how big it is. Best thing that I do is literally get close to this line right here, this silver thing, and I basically just stand like right next to it. I don't even have to like look or anything. I just stand here. It's really, really tight. It's like 2 squares and a half. So now, what if tanks? What if it was opposite? You basically do the same thing, which is like you look which half is doing it. But if it's like the head down, instead of being close right here to Hraesvelgr, we will be close towards Nid. And that's pretty much it. Like, these are simple mechanics, but you can simply just like, you know, you can mess it up. So again, on the other side, it's not we don't have like that much of a leeway, because right here on the other side of the arena, we don't have the privilege of that silver thing, but we do have, you know, his big hitbox, and you could just follow like kind of like an imaginary line from the marker, so you stand like slightly above the marker. Then after here, you know, it's Rot time. I'm just standing here, and then we're gonna throw our 2 minutes. I'm just gonna keep showing like as a DPS. I'm the melee DPS 2 in this case. And we have specific spots. You can practice these specific spots if you go into the final steps of faith and you do, you know, you do it on sync, and you make sure that you get through, you know, all of Nidhogg, and, you know, you're done, but don't get out of the arena because it's the same arena. So basically, for me as a melee DPS 2, I will stand right here. In between this square and this square, there's a line right here. I would stand literally in the middle. For a range, it applies for range 1 and range 2. Define this line of squares. The caster is gonna want the northeast. The fist range is gonna want the the southwest. And basically, looking at the wall, it's the same position. So they're gonna find the outer line of the square line. So this one right here, this one right here, this one right here. And they want to be where the line of the outside meets that line of squares. So they would be standing right here where it meets. And let us solve. Healers have north-south, like literal north-south. They do their thing. And now tanks have a different position, so I'm going to show it in a little bit. And melee 1 has a specific one where they have to find the... you can barely see it actually. So they have a specific white white square right here, right next to the marker. It's this white square. You're gonna grab the northwest corner of it. There's a square right there too. So like you're not standing in the marker, you're not standing near the marker. No. You use the marker to find this specific white square, and you start on the northwest corner of it, right there. And you basically let it solve. That's pretty much it. And right here, if this is actually the most important one, this is the most important part, like low key. I have cauterize, I have fire, I have red. I need to get hit by gray, but it's also, you know, it's cauterized. That means I have to stop moving. Basically, you have to do it in a split second decision. You cross the middle of the arena, and you're gonna like stop moving and press escape. Like, you know, you spam it. Make sure you're not moving, because if they move, you know, they get clipped. If you get clipped, make sure you keep moving, and you die. If you die to Pyretic, it's fine. Like, nothing bad happens. Something bad happens, and unfortunately, but I guess lucky me, that in this specific pool, they didn't know that they had to keep running. So because Kreisvelger is gonna kill them, his Solemn Battle is broken, Kreisvelger flies into rage. So if you get clipped by Cauterize, keep running. Like, it's fine. Just like keep running. It's better to you know, suffer a DPS loss than having, you know, the last set of DPS check, which is right here. You can actually survive the enraged Kreisvelger if you have a Tank WB2, but since we don't have Tank WB2, we die on the spot. So, well, some of us managed to live holy, but yeah, let me show you a cleaner one. So we're going towards our spot. This is, you know, Wound Spread 2. I'm standing right in the middle of the 2. I make sure I don't move, don't get close, don't do anything. Just make sure that you do your stuff. Okay, now this time around, I have an Ice. Ice is just easy, get hit by Nidhogg, and you're gonna get frozen. Nothing else that you need to do. So I go to Nidhogg side, and I just basically, like, you know, I don't move, I just stand there, I get frozen. On the left side, they're alive. They get hit, and we live. That's basically it. And we just stand here for, you know, touchdown. They're usually dead by now. So if Nidhogg dies right here, you can see that the debuff from the tank, this one, there was a fire debuff right there. It disappeared, and the Rot disappeared too because Nidhogg died. So usually the only one that has to stay here is the DPS, the melee DPS that is supposed to grab the Rot, and the caster. But if Nidhogg dies right here, you ignore it. But like basically you don't move and you just keep doing damage to Nidhogg. And that's about it from the DPS perspective. Now let me show you how Wound Spread 2 looks as a tank. So after getting the footage cursed, right? Right here in the middle, recap a little bit. You know, I dropped the Rot, no one's in the middle. We're gonna have Wound Spread 2 after Hallowed Wing 2. And then right here, as a tank, we almost use the same movement that we did before. But in this case, instead of like considering B over there where we went, we're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna go towards the D side over here, where the circle and, you know, the marker meet almost. Or you're gonna have middle. But this is for off tank 2. If you're the other tank, they would actually go, you know, either middle. I'm gonna paint it on the minimap. You know, they go either middle or towards the 4 marker right here. And the same thing, you know, where the circle and on the left side of the marker is right there. So right here, we're gonna have the same prio. It's either I'm gonna have the tank buster if the head is not glowing, or if the head is glowing, make sure that I look behind to see if the other head is also glowing. In my case, it is glowing. So 2 things happen. Is like, okay, I already know which type of tank buster it is, and I press my rampart. You want to press it when you can press it from the start of the cast bar, but I usually do it like through the middle just to like be completely safe. Also, this is an important one. This is important. Your 30% needs to be pressed after or exactly at, or, you know, this little, you know, gap right here to press it where the B is of Wind's Breath. So right there, you have literally like this small leeway to press your 30%. If it's a shared tank buster, you don't need to be this tight in timing because you're gonna share the damage. But it's better, like, you know, give your healers don't give your healers a hard time. Make sure you mid on in time. Right here, it's good to drop GCDs because you know, drop 1-2 GCDs. I know like 2 minutes are right now because of like the change in DPS check, but like usually they should be dead by now. So right here, I'm pressing it and it's around BR, right? So I press it, it's locked in, and we get hit. And we just do damage. As an off tank, this is the last responsibility that you have. You're gonna get close and main tank or tank 1 to left, tank 2 to the right, the off tank, and you I have my reprisal. If I reprisal Wroth Flames, I reprisal right here, this last cauterize, and make sure that I have, in this case I didn't have mana because of the changes of level of weapon. We're down in mana. If not, I would have enough mana to throw my TVN. But, you know, of course, if you're a warrior right here, actually, this is why warrior is OP in DSR and Dark Knight too. Because, well, I didn't talk about this in general, actually. But, like, Dark Knight has a guaranteed inbone during last of P2. And the warrior has a guaranteed home gang at the end of P6. So right here, they can just home gang cauterize and they can give their go tank nascent. So they give me nascent and I basically live. So they're fine because even though this dot is like huge, actually what is also big is that we have an Astro. So they just macrocosmos the damage, they just press it and we get healed all the way full. And right here as a tank, you know, basically tank healers and any DPS that is not the Rod responsibility, we just keep running. So right here, you know, Nidhogg has a 1%, you know, we could have easily just like forgot about it, but Nidhogg dies really quick. And that's about it. So for win spread 2, there's another tank buster that I managed to find the footage for. So I see the cast bar. I see Kreisvelger's head is not glowing. I am guaranteed to go where, you know, this thing and my left side of the marker meet right there. I'm just gonna keep walking, and then you're gonna literally look at me, drop GCs right here. So I pressed both of them, literally right here. Because it was so back in the day, I didn't even press TVN because you only get, if you don't time TVN at the very start, you don't basically get 2 TVNs. So what I personally did was like, if I'm gonna take this with 30 and 20, like I'm gonna save my TVN for Cauterize because Cauterize is the one that hits really, really big. So right here, I'm literally not pressing anything. I'm to the left side of the marker, just taking the tank buster. I literally, if the south healer is placed correctly, like you can see on the map right here, they're placed on south correctly, you don't get hit by any of the possible tethers, be it ice or fire. It gets auto-solved. And in my case, you know, this happened. I live, I keep walking, I go north, I get the left side, I, you know, reprisal, TVN, oblation. I get nascent because, again, remember, home gang because of warrior. If not, I wouldn't get nascent. You know, I would be fine because I have, you know, I have rampart, I have shadow wall, and I have oblation TVN. And look at the timing. I still have 1 second of shadow wall. So by the time of the snapshot, it managed to get the damage. And since we have an Astro, it's so broken Astro in this fight. But anyway, that's something besides the point. And then again, right here is, you know, it's basically the end of the fight. You know, this is back in Endwalker where, like, you know, Nidhogg is like 13%, and they like it would still like die slowly, faster than it is like right now today. So, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much P6. Like, it has like its little nuisance, but it's, you know, in my opinion, it's simple mechanics, and you can simply mess it up. And you just need reps. You need to get there, get consistent of getting to P6 and getting consistent in P6. Those are 2 separate things, and you just need to like take your time with it. Make sure you actually learn it, you know what you're doing, and it will actually become an easier fight for you. So this is about it for me, and I'll see you guys on the next one on Phase 7.